Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is dieting and weight control. And we're fortunate to have with us two persons to talk about dieting and weight control this morning in our studio. Dr. David Schlunt. Dr. David Schlunt is a psychologist in the psychology department at Vanderbilt University. And of course, with Dr. Schlunt is Dr. Janice Walker. Dr. Walker is a member of the pediatric staff at Meharry Medical College. And let me welcome both of you, Dr. Schlunt and Dr. Walker, to the show this morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
I think both of you will admit that the topic this morning is an interesting topic in the sense that both of you have spent quite a bit of time studying and writing about the questions of dieting and weight control. As a matter of fact, I think it was an article that appeared in a recent issue of the Tennessean by Miss Tammy Smith that allowed us to have contact with the two of you and to talk about what we consider to be very, very important issues this morning. Dr. Schlunt, let's start with you by having you to give us some information about your background and your education. And of course, Dr. Walker will give us the same kind of information. Then we'll get into this whole question of dieting and weight control this morning.
Okay, well, I basically grew up in the Midwest and started college at Indiana University and got my bachelor's degree in psychology there. And basically from the beginning I knew that's what I wanted to do, was be a psychologist. I went to the University of Wisconsin and got a master's degree there, and then I finished my doctoral work back at Indiana University. After which, given I had a degree in clinical psychology, I needed to do an internship. So I went to the University of Mississippi Medical School in Jackson to do an internship there. And that's really where I first got interested in eating and interested in the relationship between our eating and our health. At that, I got interested first in eating disorders with anorexia and bulimia nervosa, and got involved with my friend Will Johnson there in doing a series of studies looking at some of the behavioral aspects of bulimia, particularly. Then I worked for a while with, in the Department of Medicine with prevention of high blood pressure through dietary management. We studied weight loss and low sodium, high potassium diets to see the kind of effect it had on blood pressure. Came to Vanderbilt in 1985 and have been doing work with obesity, with diabetes, and particularly the dietary aspects of diabetes, and working really more with questions about body image, how people see themselves, and the effect that that has on their eating behavior and their efforts towards weight control.
Very good. And Dr. Walker, let's have you give us some information about your background and how you came to Meharry Medical College in the Department of Pediatrics.
Well, I'm originally from Miami, Florida, and I guess ever since I was a little girl, from about 8 years old, I was interested in the issue of weight control because of the emphasis that society places on being thin. So I started dieting, I guess, when I was 8 years old. Also at that point, I made a decision that I wanted to become a psychologist. And through my discussions with friends and families on a daily basis, I just became increasingly aware that everyone was preoccupied with their weight. From there, I studied psychology at the undergraduate level at Florida State University. And after I graduated with a BS in psychology, I attended Fisk University and Meharry Medical College, where I received my master's degree in clinical psychology. Still having an interest in terms of weight and obesity. And from there, I went to Vanderbilt University, where I received my doctorate in clinical psychology. And actually, I worked with Dr. Schlunt in terms of doing my research in the area of obesity. So this has been a lifelong process in terms of interest that I've had with regard to research and treatment. And along the way, throughout my educational background, I've worked in a variety of clinical settings in which I provided services to obese populations. And as a black female, I'm particularly interested in some of the cultural and ethnic differences that need to be addressed with regard to weight loss.
Very good, and we're going to talk about some of those differences later on this morning, Dr. Walker. Dr. Schlunt, as I indicated earlier, we became aware of the study that you participated in through an article that was in the Tennessean by Ms. Tammy Smith. And of course, what we'd like for you to do this morning is to give our audience some information in reference to that study, and let's talk about that study.
Okay, well, between, let's say, 1986 and 1990, we did a series of weight loss studies in the Vanderbilt Weight Management Program. And in each study, we had sort of an identical set of procedures. When people would come into the study, before they got started, they kept a 2-week record of everything they ate, every situation they ate in, how they felt at the time. And so we collected those food diaries and computerized them. And then so across a number of different studies, we ended up with almost 300 people who participated and complete 2-week records of everything they ate. And that was where the study came from. We got really interested in the question of whether people are, how different are people in their eating style and their approach to food, and what difference does this make for how you might go about structuring a weight loss program. So for the study that was described in the paper, we took just the women, because we didn't really have quite enough men to study. So we had 236 women. They were all at least 30% overweight, and we took their diaries and characterized the way they ate in a variety of different situations, how they ate when they were at restaurants or at home, with family members, with friends, how their eating was related to happiness, excitement, depression, boredom, a variety of different moods. And we were able to